I feel like I've forgotten how this goes. Welcome to the Mad About Ewe YouTube channel. My name is Madeleine. I use she and her pronouns, and I come to you today on the land of the Cubby people of the Sunshine Coast, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians, or them as the traditional custodians of this land that I live, work, craft on, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. It is Sunday the 29th. Let me just check that fact. Yeah, Thursday. I'm trying to be more authentic and just go with the flow. It is Sunday the 29th of January 2023, and thank you for joining me here on my corner of the internet. I am, if you're new here, welcome. This is the 5th year of the Mad About Ewe YouTube channel. We've had a lot of progressions, shall we say, or evolutions. Let's just do a quick introduction. I'm Madeleine. I'm 30. I'm 31 next month. I am a high school teacher. I am a sister, daughter, cat mum. I have 2 little kittens, Finnegan and Isabeau, who I'm sure you'll be able to hear. They're chasing each other up and down the hall right now. I got Finn in early November last year when I got back from Europe, and I got Isabeau a couple of days after Christmas. So she's been a part of my life for a month now. We've had her. And you will hear all about that in my life update, because the 2 of them together have been trouble. Excellent, but trouble. Excuse me. I have been recovering. I got sick in the first week of January with a cold, pretty bad cold, and tonsillitis. And since then I've had this awful cough, so I will try my best to hold off on the coughing, but I'll edit it out if I get a chance. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. I, like I said, I live on the Sunshine Coast. I grew up here. I moved away for 11 and a bit years, and I moved back at the beginning of 2021 to retrain and become a high school teacher, and that's what I'm currently doing for work. We have a visitor. I might introduce you if she comes close. They are loving my dress right now. It's like this print, but very long. Before we head into the big things. Or maybe we won't, I don't know. Isabeau. Hello. Hey, Baba. Finn and Isabeau are Burmese kittens. She's really spunky, this one. And so, it's not really good for you to see her face. Hello. Say hi to the friends. Good girl. Hello. Look up. Little miss. Hello. Hey, Baba. Or Finn, no, that's the microphone. No. Oh, no. This is going to be so tempting for them. We might, once I've introduced you to Finn, lock them outside, because we're 4 minutes in and we've had no crafting content. Hey, Baba. Finnegan. Finn. Hey buddy, the friends want to see how big you've gotten. So Isabeau is 3 and a bit months old. Finn is nearly 6. And here is big boy Finnegan. Hello. Oh, your eye looks a bit droopy today. Is it your bad eye? Oh, we're okay. Yeah, so he was a small set, or not quite actually, he was a little bit bigger when I got him. But the 2 of them, fun. All right, I'm having a drink of water. And I'm going to pause this and take them outside. All right, they don't like to be left out, so let's see how long it lasts. Itchy. Okay, so this is my corner of the internet where I talk about my crafting, mostly knitting, sometimes crochet. I haven't sewed in about a year, but I do have a sewing machine, and I'm hoping, I don't know where I'm going to find the time, but at some point that I might find some time to do some sewing later this year. I have a pattern for a needle case that I got printed I'd probably say like 8 months ago, maybe longer even, at Officeworks. Like it's on a big A0 page and I've got fabric for it. So I really like to sew that at some point. I also have a circular sock machine, and I crank sock tubes, mostly for people through my Etsy my Etsy shop. This is a great example of a tube, bad example of some people like flashing and pulling. I personally don't. So I cranked this tube. It was supposed to be a gift for my friend Paula in America, but I don't like it, so I need to unwind it and then wash it, and then it'll get repurposed for a shawl or something. It is yarn by Stitchcraft and Wizardry. Okay, so I have done up some new graphics. I'm glad I did it last year because I've been flat out this year. For our little segments in the editing. This is a once a month podcast, video, diary, whatever, of my crafting, and yeah, you can expect it once a month. I have to admit, I haven't actually knit a single stitch since the 7th of January this year. It is the 29th now, so what's that, like 22 days? Combination of a few things. I got sick, had some other like lifey personal things, and when life gets really hard for me, a lot of people take solace in their crafting, and I just could not make myself pick anything up. And then I've started back at school like 2 weeks ago. We had a week or like 4 days of staff PD and new staff training stuff that I had to do, and then we had kids last week. And so like I spent all day yesterday planning stuff for this week and whatnot. So life has been in the way, but that's okay. Things happen, and I'm the type of person who wants to be upfront with you on the internet, and I want you to know, because I have to remind myself of this, and some of my yarny podcasters also reminded me last night when I told them I felt like a fraud because I was recording today and I haven't knit a stitch in 3 weeks, and they were just like, not everyone can smash out lots of projects, and that's okay. And so for those of you who are crafters intermittently like me, I want to say I see you. Just craft together. The other thing that's happening this year is I'm hosting the Mad About You half and half wrap along, which is my work in progress. It's seen no work for 3 weeks. So yeah, let's start with a finished object. So I think I showed this in Vlogmas, but you would not have seen a podcast about it. I finished the Pierre Shawl by Stephen West. I cast it on just after Christmas 2021, and I finished it just before Christmas 2022. It didn't get knit on for a really long time. I'm just trying to find the right and wrong side. I used a combination of yarn, so Pierre by West Knits. I used a combination of yarn from a few different dyers, and I'll talk you through my process a little bit. So this one here was the colorway Daphne by Yarn Trader, which I picked up when I went to Fiberfest in 2021. The next 3 colors, this is kind of like faded, and then I did not manage to fade these next 2. So this shawl calls for DK weight yarn. I used fingering weight held double because I really wanted to work through my stash, and I thought these colors looked nice together. The next 3 are by Spun Right Round, which is a US based company, and the final color here that I bound off with is from my friend Susan from Ash and Eve Designs. She very kindly gifted me some minis at a Christmas do in early December for her knitting group that I finally tagged along to, and so I bound off with that because I'd run out, but all the details are on my Ravelry page, and I guess I can I'll look that up. I'm Mad About You on Instagram, and I'm Mad Belle on Ravelry because I'm really bad at remembering to tell you that. My projects finished. Pierre. Okie dokie. So stats. First color Daphne by Yarn Trader. I use 65 grams, so I do have some in my like solid, like decent leftover stash. I used Spun Right Round Dusty Roses. I used basically all of it. I think I had 3 grams left. The same with 9 Lives and Cieslak. I used, which is so funny, like, because it grows when it grows quickly. So like this color here is the Dusty Roses, and I faded those 2 together, and then by the time I got to I faded these 2 in this section, and then I did this twisted rib, and then this beautiful triangle section, which maybe if I hold it like this you can actually see them. I didn't feel like I could alternate, and then I didn't want to alternate in the triangles with this color, so we did this, and then basically I think I ran out like halfway through the next lot of twisted rib, and then this Cieslak really didn't go that far, because this size, I've not actually measured it, but like I am, oh shoot, we're stuck. I'm 165 centimeters tall, so theoretically my wingspan is 165 centimeters if what I learned in primary school is still correct. And then so it's like probably 2 meters. It's very warm, definitely too warm for the climate where I live, which is why I don't have it on, because it is probably 29, I'd say 27 degrees at the moment, and it's like 10:30. Oh, I need to get a wriggle on. Yeah, I love it. It will be good to wear like, I don't know, 2 weeks this year maybe. But, you know, I'm really happy with it. If I had my time again, I probably would swap the last 2 colors. I would have done the like light pink to hot pink to then finish with the dark. I was actually going to finish with black, and then like black, I decided to add in the Daphne. So originally it was going to be those 3, so I probably would have gone this pink, hot pink, dark, purple, black. But I'm happy that this is how it looks. So finished object, the only finished object I have for a long time. Works in progress. I might actually be mid-row. I actually think I'm about to show you something that I'm mid-row, which is not great because it's the half and half wrap. Oh, I'm not. How good. Okay, so I'm hosting the half and half wrap along by Pearl Soho. The yarn we're using, you can use any yarn. It takes 4 or 6 skeins of linen quill, which here's a skein of my second color. It is a Highland wool alpaca linen blend. The cowl is super low key. I will link below to the video that explains everything. Lots of people have asked questions on there. I also have lots of information over on my Instagram. I have an Instagram stories highlight tab as well. So if you're interested, check it out. So yeah, anyway, my first color is this one. It's called Rhubarb Pink. And I actually cast on a Christmas day because I knew that my first week the week between Christmas and New Year's was going to be really busy with stuff that I had on, and I'm not eligible for the prize because I'm hosting the cowl. So I was like, you know what, I'll cast on early. Thank goodness I did, because if I hadn't have, I would have had no knitting to show you right now. So it's a free pattern, so I can talk about it. I cast on 250 stitches. I wish I had have just done, oh shoot, I wish I had have done 190, like made the small one, because I definitely don't need this big of a wrap. So the pattern is like 190 or 260. I went with 150. Originally I cast on 220 because it's like a midway point, and then I was like, oh, you can do a bit more, so I did more. I wish I hadn't, but it's too late. I am slipping the 3 stitches, when I mostly remember, on the end of the right side, wrong side. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'll just figure it out when I'm doing it next. So yeah, that's what I've done. Basically, you cast on all of the amount of stitches that you need, and then we decrease until you've got none left. So it's a really long project. It takes a lot of time. But I really love this pink, which is great. I'm glad I started with this color. I made myself Lidl's Evil stitch marker, or like Matty. If you agree, I always wear one. I got one in my car. It's just a superstitious orthodox thing, I think. But anyway, it's cultural. So that's what I'm making, and that's my first work in progress. I don't know how good the quality of that just was because my microphone was not on my top, so I apologize. I am knitting using interchangeable needles, which is kind of annoying, on 3.25, and so my Chalgu needles, and they are 37 inches or 93 centimeters for the is my cable length plus whatever my needle tip is, and I think these are the 5-inch tips, so I can't maths, I'm sorry. It's fine, it's enough, it's doing well. And I'm keeping it inside my Creative Garage little cactus bag, which is good because I literally just have what I'm working on and the one skein, obviously, or it will grow quite large, and so I will need to expand the bag, but for now that's working perfectly well. And I'm on my first skein of yarn, so I think I need to make a little thing to myself, like non-negotiable 15 minutes a day, which is like half a row probably, because that thing is so slow going. But I was enjoying it. I just have been so busy, a little bit heartbroken and a little bit sick, or very sick, and my cats are sick, and life was just far too much. And yeah, next. I have done a lot of it on this project, but a lot happened between the last podcast in December and now. So, oops, just throwing stitch markers around. This is my Musselburgh hat. It's a pattern, free pattern. No, that's a lie, not a free pattern. It's a pattern by Isolde Teague. I think last time I saw you, I was up to here, and I've knit all the way down here. So, yeah, it was just a fun portable knit. I really like this color. The yarn, it is saltwater yarns. The color is Sailor's Delight, and I am a couple of rows into my second ball. So I originally had cast a pair of socks on with this yarn, went to take to Europe last year, and I was knitting a pattern sock, and I really don't like pattern socks. My attention span's not long enough, I think. So I wasn't enjoying it. So I ended up I bought some yarn from Stephen and Penelope, made a Musselburgh hat, this one. And then I was like, well, the yarn is already split in two. I really want to use it for something. Probably could have made a sock on my sock machine, and then I would have actually had socks, but that's okay. And at the time, last year I was doing a lot of relief teaching, and occasionally, like when you're a relief teacher, you're busy all day, but occasionally or I'd have a lunch break, or maybe I would have 2 duties, and my lunch break I'd have a period off. And I wasn't planning any lessons, so I was like either doing a little bit of like work for myself or knitting. So I cast this on, and yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I will finish this. So yeah, I would say not quite halfway actually, because there's a bit something else. My last one I made a little bit short, so the plan for this one is just to knit as much as I can, which is, I think I just struggled to measure it last time. It's supposed to be a certain number of inches, and I was like, yeah, it's close enough, I'm done, because I was knitting magic loop and it was not so much fun. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole point of it is that it folds in on itself, so I do need to finish it. And what would I do with the rest of the yarn anyway? So and this one is in a Kitsch Creative, which is Kylie, who is also Yarn Creative Australia. And it's a cute little sugar glider possum something little Australiana bag, which I love. The other thing, which is kind of a finished object, but I told you about all of these before, is I finally sewed in all the ends on my socks. Finally. My grandma has been asking for a pair of socks for ages. This is actually from a tube I sent yarn to America to get cranked so I could decide if I liked hand crank socks. My grandma's been asking for socks for ages, and I was like, yeah, I'll knit you some, and then promptly never did. So I'm seeing her today, so I might actually just like wrap those up and give them to her. But yeah, they're all done. they have all of the ends woven in. These are my 2021 Advent socks. This was the pair I knit while I was studying last year. So yeah, my sock drawer is now filling up again, finally. Oh, okay, that's that done. I actually kind of think this being in 2 parts will be good. It'll be easier to upload to the cloud. I usually do reading, watching, listening, but I'm really disorganized today, so I haven't got anything for that in particular. I've been listening to lots of different podcasts. Okay, that's a lie, I'm ready. I read a couple of books already this year, mostly on Audible or like BorrowBox or Libby, but I've actually been reading, it's called Not Now Not Ever. It's edited by Julia Gillard, who was the first and only so far female Prime Minister of Australia. And in 2012 she gave a speech in Parliament. It's called the Misogyny Speech. It became popular on TikTok like a year or 2 ago, and it's a pretty solid speech. Anyway, for the 10th anniversary, lots of different people wrote, and it's been compiled into a book. I got the book for Christmas, and I've really, it's infuriating but excellent. I've really enjoyed that. Watched not a lot of anything, if I'm honest. Oh no, I watched The Great. That was recommended to me by a friend, and I'm just starting season 2. The Great in Australia is on Stan, so that's cool. And then I've listened to lots of different podcasts, so there's none that stand out that I'm gonna be like, yes. Change my mind again. There is. There's an Armchair Expert where they interviewed Anna Kendrick, and they talk about a relationship that she was in that was fairly abusive and just whatever. So, which leads us quite nicely into blather. So I did Vlogmas, and then I put up the podcast in mid-December, like 20th-ish of December, and then I did the half and half wrap stuff, so that was busy. But yeah, basically at the end of last year I started seeing somebody who I had reconnected with. We were friends back at uni the first time when I was at uni in Canberra, like completely platonic. I was with my ex, and yeah, we lost contact, as you do in the particular careers that we had. You move around a lot, and so we lost contact. And then at the end of last year I saw him on a dating app, and I swiped. I said, oh my gosh, hey, what you doing? Like, you're in Brisbane, fancy seeing you here. We chatted for a little bit, and then we went on a date, and at the time I was like, this isn't gonna work, he's in whatever job, whatever, but we met and we had a really lovely time. And so basically a whirlwind of like 2 months of seeing each other, which was really great. And a week and a bit ago, yeah, we decided that actually a relationship is unfortunately in the too hard basket for us, just because I'm starting my career up here. He will be out of Brisbane by the end of this year. And yeah, so I spent most of last weekend pretty heartbroken, actually, very upset. I'm getting upset thinking about it. Oh, welcome to 2023. But it was a really lovely summer, and we're still trying to be friends, which I've never successfully done with someone that I've dated before. But this was not because either of us did something wrong. It was just like where we're at in life is not really compatible. So that kind of sucks. But I've been back on the apps, and I'm saying to all the teachers at school, if you know anyone, set me up. So I went on a couple of dates the last Friday and Saturday. So yeah, I don't know whether either of those will go, but you never know to begin with, so I'm just putting myself out there and seeing what happens. So yeah, I think my lack of knitting was before that. Yeah, so that we started seeing each other end of November, early December basically, and then called it quits like mid-Jan, 3/4 of the way through January. And in between that, so picked up Isabeau on the 27th of December. It took like 4 days for Finn and Isabeau to begin to like each other. It was so stressful, man. I think I put something on Instagram at the time. I was just super stressful. And then they do like each other. Excellent. New Year happens, great. First week of January, all good, still knitting, like life is good. And then I got sick. I starting like the 7th, and then by the like 9th or 10th I had tonsillitis, and then Isabeau got a tummy bug and basically had diarrhea for 4 days. Finn has possibly cat flu or allergies, but he's always sneezed and had a bit of like runny eyes since I got him. And then he gets conjunctivitis, so I take them both to the vet for $400 later, so $200 to get her poo tested. She has feline coronavirus, which apparently not like human COVID. It's a gut thing, which a lot of animals have, but it flares up at certain times, and if it does flare particularly bad, it can be fatal. I had her for like 2 weeks at this point. Then, so he's got the skunky eye. She's really unwell, so she's like on a bland diet, whatever, getting there. She gets better, all good. Then she gets conjunctivitis, which the vet said would happen, but that happened like a week later. And then Finn gets a tummy bug. And then there's a particular type of food I fed them, and it does not agree with either of them. So then both of them had diarrhea again. Like I woke up before getting ready to go to work last week, and there was just like poo everywhere outside. Like mostly in the litter box, which was good. I fed them, and then I went to go clean the litter box. Isabeau was in there, she got out, she literally walked out, and then I watched her like do her business all and around it. Just, oh my god, the poor cat. So for those of you who've actually had children that are human children, hats off to you, because like parenting pets is hard. Well, not even parenting, like I'm not gonna it's trivial compared to whatever, but man, it's been a ride, and they're so expensive. Like it's fine, but they're feeding them is far more expensive than I expected it to be, so that's been fun too. So yeah, that life has been a ride. I did ask for some questions because we were light on knitting content, and I thought this was going to be a super quick episode, but I've blathered on for so long. Let me all right, so the responses were Burmese updates, of course, so we've had that. They are well now, they're fun, they love each other. Finn is a lilac. Isabeau is technically a lilac, but she has a brown mum, like a chocolate mum and chocolate siblings, and she's definitely darker than him, so she's like a lilac chocolate mix. My mum replied more pussycat content, laughing emoji. Thanks, mum. Someone else said kittens. What are my plans for 2023? So my plans for 2023 is half and half wrap, obviously. I'm gonna knit myself a cardigan or a jumper. I have some beautiful yarn that I got for my birthday last year from Mel from 3 Cats Yarn. And I wanna make a cardigan out of that. It's a 5-ply, so I'm fairly sure it's gonna be the Deren cardigan by Jacqueline Cieslak. But there's another couple that are in my queue as well. I thought I'd knit like honestly every day this year. That was kind of like a little goal, but I haven't made that happen for myself. Yeah, so my 2023 plans, I think I talked about it in Vlogmas, and it's written down somewhere, but not actively where I can see it, was like half and half wrap, knit a jumper or a cardigan, and then probably like make myself some pairs of socks on my sock machine, because I'm making lots of tubes for other people, which is another thing that is excellent but annoying. So we have 109 people signed up on the Google form, which is really exciting. Some people, it's their first one, like then like me, casted on new. Some people are finishing one and then they're gonna cast on a new one. So I think it's going really well. When people tag me and stuff, I'm resharing it on my Instagram, but I've been so flat out with work now, I haven't actually spent a lot of time on Instagram. But when I do see them, it brings me lots of joy and it's really inspiring. So thank you so much for the people who are doing that. I love it. I don't think anything in particular is inspiring me, even though I'm not actively crafting, except for yesterday I was on Instagram and I did see the new, I think it's like a possum merino maybe from Louis and Lola. They're such beautiful colors and how it's taking up on that dye. So I think a striped cardigan or a jumper by Andrew Murray would be beautiful in some of those colors. I have some stuff I can talk about, some storage stuff in a second. And the other thing is how was the start of my new job? So I am working out of school this year full-time, which is excellent. The start of it was good. You just don't know what you don't know till you don't know it. I have 6 classes of minimum 28 kids, max 31. So I'm not that great at maths, but that's like 120 names I have to learn, and I've seen them for 4 days, and I've got probably like a third of the names down pat, and I'm supposed to have finished their seating plans today and I haven't done it yet. So but it's going well. I am not confident teaching one of the subjects that I have to teach, and the teaching and learning plan that there should be kind of does exist, but it hasn't been updated, and I'm teaching along with another teacher. Like I have one class and he has the other class, and he's been the only one who's teaching this subject for the last 4 years. So I'm hoping by tomorrow I have more of an idea of what I'm teaching when, because it's not my teaching area. I'm literally learning this stuff before I teach the kids. So that's been very stressful. I have a couple of kids who are out of phase, which means like I'm teaching year 7 English, and I've got one little boy who's got a variety of intellectual needs, and he is at a year 3 level, and I'm teaching the Industrial Revolution to year 9, who are usually 14, 15, and I've got a student who is at prep or grade 1 level. So when you try to accommodate, like I am legally required to provide those students with an education, but it's very hard for me at the moment. So I'm working with the special education teachers to be like, how do I not trivialize this, but convert what we're doing to an appropriate level for that student. So that's really really challenging, and the reporting requirements are really challenging. And I just found out recently that like in Western Australia, they're really good at teacher non-programmed class time, so that you can actually prepare. And in Queensland, I think they have double the amount of prep time that we do. And I have extra prep time because I'm a graduate teacher. I get an extra hour a week, I think. I've literally worked every night for a couple of hours after school planning stuff for the week ahead, because I only recently got access to the stuff and I've never taught it before. And my colleagues are being very helpful in sharing their stuff. But I think my problem is I'm over planning because I'm so used to being a student teacher. And the last time when I taught, I really wasn't confident at all, and I'm sure that will come. So I've been really thorough in my lesson plans, and I'm really thorough in my PowerPoints, but I don't have the energy or the capacity to do both of those. So my plan now is to like write really thorough PowerPoints, or if I'm not using a PowerPoint, instructions for myself, like one or the other, enough that I satisfy all the requirements for reporting if I was to get audited. And then I can actually focus my time on figuring out how to differentiate for the students who have the additional needs in my class, because I think the minimum students I have in all of my classes, I've got a class of 4, which is the lowest amount of accommodations that I have to make, and then in one of my other classes I have 9 students who need some of this, like have the same changes to be made, but that it's really a lot. So yeah, it's been good, but it's like, oh my God. And then next week, so not this week coming, the week after, I go to Canberra for a week to work for my old job, because they promoted me as I left and I have to do a promotion course. So I spent most of the holidays doing that work. I still have a little bit more to do. So in week 3 of school, I'm not there, so I have to plan 25 lessons or whatever for a relief teacher to be able to do. And then also, which I'm not being paid to do, and then go and do the work which has summative assessments for my old employer who will pay me. So I will be paid, but I'm being paid for one job, not basically the 2 that I have to do. So that's a lot. But by the time you see me next month, hopefully I'll have made some progress on my half and half wrap. I'll be like more into the swing of things with uni. It's my birthday next month, so that's exciting. My sister and I are going to see Ed Sheeran on the Friday. My birthday is the Saturday. I've got a family lunch planned. Well, I know who's coming. I haven't booked anything, but or maybe I'll do it at my house. Speak to my housemate. I got a new housemate. She's wonderful. She loves cats. It's great. Yeah, life is good. Like last weekend, life was really sad. I was so sad. I got to work on Monday. I got in an emergency appointment with my, I tried to get in with my therapist, who I hadn't seen in probably like, in quite a while actually. I'd kind of like off her books. She was like more than happy to welcome me back onto my books, but we'd closed off, like I was really good. And then about 2 weeks ago, I was like spiraling a little bit because of school and being sick and like all these things. And I preemptively was like, hey, can I book in? And I got an appointment for the end of March, which was like 2 months after my crisis. Felt like a crisis at the time. And then I just rang and said, look, can I go on a cancellation list? And literally the first day back at school, so last Monday, got a phone call at like 2 o'clock. And we didn't have students that day. It was the student free day. So we were at school. I got a missed call saying, hey, we have a cancellation for tomorrow at 4. Do you want it? Or for today at 4. And I took it. So that was really good. And she helped me like process my feelings about a few things and just talk about whatever. And I remembered some strategies. So yeah, life has been big and hectic. There's been some other like big things in family, just health wise. But yeah, I'm off to a family birthday party, like a birthday lunch. Then I'm gonna go to the beach with my sister, my mum and dad, my sister's partner, and then probably just go really quickly for a quick swim. And I've got to come home and do my work, but literally got up this morning at 5:30 because the cats wanted feeding. And I cleaned, scrubbed my kitchen, did some washing, hung that out, cleaned my house, record this. I will edit probably tonight before I'm going to bed. But yeah. That's a big ramble. If there's anything you'd like to see in the podcast in future, please leave me a comment below. I really love it when you do engage. Sometimes I'm not great at replying immediately, but I will get to it within a week probably. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I can't believe it's been nearly 5 years. It's 5 years in May, my podiversary. Thanks for joining in the half and half wrap, Cal, or if you're not but you're spreading the word, that's awesome. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I really hope we have like a great February because it's almost February. And yeah, life is good, busy but good. I hope you're well. Stay warm if you're in a warm place, stay cool if you're in southeast Queensland, and it is awful. Humidity is just brutal right now. But yeah, that's it for now. I think finally this is gonna be a long one. Fun times. See you over on Instagram and see you next month.